What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture, and I am probably more excited to do this video than I've ever been on my channel. Today, we are counting down the last 10 books on the top 100 key comics to invest in for under $100. This has been 2 months in the making, and I am just ecstatic to go through these last books and to get to this #1 book. Before I get into the books though, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so and check out all the awesome links below, including how you can become a patron member of the channel for only $3.99, where you get awesome exclusive Patreon perks, automatic entry into all of our Patreon only contests, as well as early access to all kind of videos, including videos like this. Also, check out the link to my official Journals Comics merch that is below, and of course check out the link if you're not subscribed to our comic book canon YouTube, where we have live shows every Friday night. Now, before I get into the books as well, it's A1 Wednesday, so of course I gotta give a big shout out to my shop, A1 Comics, with their locations in Sacramento, Roseville, and Folsom, and it's still March. We have about half the month left, and in their Sacramento location, they are having that 30% off modern back issues at $1 or more cover price. And of course, if you guys let them know that I sent you, you're gonna get an extra 5% off. So please, if you're in the Northern California area, don't forget to check that out. But if you're not in the area still, check out a-1comics.com and check them out on IG at A1 Comics for their live IG sales that they have every Wednesday and Friday. They're also on Twitch. They go live every Thursday there. So guys, if you are not checking out their live sales, you're definitely missing out. They ship all over the country. And I also have to let everyone know that A1 Comics is buying comics, Pokemon, Magic, trade paperbacks, pulps, toys, statues, original art, and more. Obviously, you guys see the contact information there if you guys are looking to sell anything that you're looking to get off your hands. But now, with that being said, let's get into these books. Now, before I show off the first book, I want to always give the rundown that I say. These books are based on the increased percentage in value over the last 5 years. So as we got lower and lower and lower in number, these books kept getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So of course, these are the hottest 10 books on the list. And I think you guys are going to be blown away by how hot some of these books are. So with that being said, let's go in to number 10 on the list. This is Strange Tales, number 138. I love me some Strange Tales. You all probably know that. This is the first full appearance of Eternity. Do not sleep on Eternity, people. I believe, and of course this is just my hunch, no fact about it, but I believe Eternity is going to make their way into the MCU without a doubt. And again, my opinion. Let's look at these numbers, all right? Current CGC fair market value in a 6.0 is sitting at $95. And what did I say about the grade points for these CGC comics? That means anything above what is listed here is going to be well over that $100 mark. But as I always say, these books aren't on this list just to go after 9.8s. A 6.0 for $100 in this book is a steal of a deal, a classic Silver Age book that I think is still heavily undervalued. So again, don't get caught up on those 9.8s. I never will. These are solid books to get in these grades. So let's look at, we have a current 6.0 fair market value sitting at around $95. 5 years ago, and a 6.0, $35. Yeah, people were really sleeping on this book. That's a 171% increase in value. All right. Now, again, remember what I say about fair market value. Even a fair market value is still an estimate. Now, I talk about current fair market value because we know that fair market value can literally change like overnight, week to week, month to month. So again, you always got to gauge fair market value as an average. But let's look at this average raw sale at $55. Now, again, this is basically doesn't pertain to any grade. It's every raw sale, no matter the grade. you add up the sales prices, and then you divide it by how many books sold. That's your average raw sale. So again, you got to take this with a little bit of grain of salt and gauge this average raw sale specifically for whatever book you're looking at. Right here, we have a Silver Age book. So you're probably looking at more of a lower mid-grade around that $55 range. But still, like I said, this book, I mean, we're already seeing this book increase. 171% increase in value is obviously the largest percent increase in value of any book on this list so far. But I think the ceiling for this book is way, way above the bar of where it's at right now, hands down. All right, we're going to move on to number 9. Whoa, okay. All right. We were just talking about fair market value. Let's talk a little bit about this book. Amazing Spider-Man Annual, number 16, the first appearance of Monica Rambeau. Boy, does she kill it on WandaVision. All right, check this out. I made this list 2 months ago. I can guarantee you we have a current CGC 9.2 fair market value sitting at around $104. I guarantee you that price is probably doubled by now. So essentially, this book could be probably lower on this list right now. So, hey, if you get a 9.2 for around that $100 mark right now, that's a steal of a deal. And that just goes to show you how quickly that current fair market value can change. But still, look at what it did 5 years ago, $36. 2 months ago, it had a 189% increase in value. Like I said, that's probably even more right now. That's still huge, and this book is just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Average raw sales sitting at about $77. You got a, Bronze Age book that's probably a good, maybe higher mid-grade, but again, that number is going to be skewed, probably a little higher now just because of how hot this book has gotten over the last 2 months since WandaVision. So I don't know if this book would have made it to number 1 with the current numbers, but I guarantee you it would have been bumped up at least a few spots if I actually did the current fair market values today, right? Love this book. Mine's going off to CGC this week as well. Whew, man. With every book, the anticipation, I'm shaking here. I'm getting goosebumps. All right, next up on the list at number 8, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1, the 5th print. The 5th print. Now remember, guys, this is a list of books for under $100. There's absolutely no way those earlier prints are going to be on this list because there were thousands, even in lower grades. But this is the first appearance of the Turtles, Splinter, and Shredder, but of course the 5th print. All right, let's look at these numbers though. Current CGC and a 6.5 fair market value sitting at right around $100. 5 years ago, $32. Change in value, that's a 213% increase. So again, Turtle Mania, guys, Last Ronin has really brought the Turtles full circle. It's got everyone really interested in the Turtles again. So I still think, look, these books, regardless, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th printing, these books are going to continue to increase in value in my humble opinion. All right, look at what it's done over the last 5 years, 213% increase. That's huge. So now we have an average raw low sale of $47. That means I took the high sales raw and I took the low sales raw and I focused on an average of just those low sales. So you're probably looking at a low to low mid-grade for under that $50 mark. So keep that in mind. And again, look, as I always say about all these books, guys, I may talk about how these books have obviously increased in value, and I always say that I'm going to assume you can look at each and every one of these books that are on this list as being strong long-term investments, but I always say don't just go out and buy it just because I'm talking about it. Don't go out and buy it if you don't have some sort of love in the book, or if you're not willing to take the risk of spending the money on this investment. All right, so moving on, we're going to go to number 7 on the list, Marvel Point 1, the 2012. This is the first appearance of Sam Alexander, the new Nova. Talk about the next generation. We see what's going on with all these characters, with Miles. You know, this character, I do believe, is going to have that similar effect, all right, on that next generation of readers. And we can already see it with the numbers that we have right here. Look at this. Current CGC, 9.6 fair market value, sitting at around $90. 5 years ago, $27. Nobody was caring about this book. Look at this change in value. 233% increase. That is solid. Average raw sale still sitting at about $26. So again, you know, this is a more modern book. You can find a decently higher grade probably for around that $25 to $30 mark. If you could find this book for under $20 under $25 in a high grade, I think it's a solid investment. It's not a lot of money out of your pocket, and this character has a lot of room to grow. I don't think we're necessarily going to see a Sam Alexander in the MCU soon, because when Nova's introduced, I do believe it's going to be Richard Rider. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen, in my humble opinion. All right, let's move on to number 6. Boy, oh boy. West Coast Avengers number 62. This is the first modern appearance of the Timekeepers. The Loki trailer has blown this book out of the water, and nobody's really talking about it, but there's a lot of stuff going on in WandaVision that could tie into the Timekeepers and Immortus as well. Look at these numbers here. No CGC sales available. That just goes to show you that nobody was looking at this book. But check this out. We have to look at raw sales for this book. But this just blows my mind. Recent high raw sale. Now remember, this was 2 months ago. I know it broke the $30 mark. Not by too much, but it has. Recent high raw sale, $30. Current raw fair market value, that's $11. Now remember, that's going to be skewed because of what was going on before the Loki trailer. Look at this right here. Average raw sale pre-Loki trailer, $2.50. Increase in value, 240%, and that's for the raw book. This was a $2, $3 book all day, every day for years. And then we saw the Loki trailer drop, and boom, off and running. And it's held its value. And as soon as the Loki show drops in a couple months, I do believe this book is going to continue to increase, because like I said, there could be a lot more tie-ins to what's going on with the Mortis and the Timekeepers than just the Loki show. So really awesome to see this book on this list so low. But look at that, 240% increase in value basically overnight. Absolutely crazy. All right, moving on. We are halfway done with the last 10. Next up at number 5 is Justice League number 50. We've seen Marvel dominating the lower numbers of this list, and I'm so happy to see a DC book this low on the list. This is Justice League number 50. The first Jessica Cruz is Green Lantern. This book has gotten hot. I love the Jessica Cruz character. Let's look at these numbers. Current CGC 9.6 fair market value, sitting at about $92. 5 years ago, right around the time that this book was released, $26, right? So you probably only had a couple on the census. Nobody was really sending this in. Change in value, 254% increase in value. That's huge. Average raw sale right now is going for about $24. You can still probably find a decent higher grade for about that much. I want to see Jessica Cruz in a live action. I want to see the DCEU and Warner Brothers get their crap together. And I'm just very, very happy to see this book doing what it's doing right now. All right, next up at number 4, this is Eternals number 2, the first appearance of the Celestials. Obviously, we've been waiting for some Eternals action in the MCU. The film got delayed. We still got to wait till the end of the year, but this book has remained hot. And again, another one that I feel has been very undervalued for a long time, and I think the MCU is absolutely going to show us how pivotal the Celestials mean to the Marvel universe, especially in the cinematic universe. Let's look at these numbers. Current CGC 9.0 fair market value sitting right at around $94. 5 years ago, $26. That's it. That's just crazy for this Bronze Age book. Change in value 262%. Wow. Wow. Average raw sale sitting at about $67. So again, you could probably find a decent mid-grade right around that price. I'm sending my copy of this to CGC as well this week. I'm hoping for at least a 9.0 on it. So we'll see what happens. All right, we only have 3 more books. It's been a journey, and we have 3 more. Our number 3 book is What If number 10, Jane Foster Becomes Thor. Now, you can argue about canon and whatnot all you want, but the bottom line is what this book has been doing, mostly obviously because of Natalie Portman coming back and her holding up that hammer, and we know that we are getting Jane Foster's Thor in Thor Love and Thunder. Look at these numbers. Let's look at this. Current CGC 7.0 fair market value sitting at around $90. 5 years ago, $18. $18. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Look at this change in value. This is obviously the biggest yet. 400% increase in value. Wow. Take that in. 400% increase in value. Average raw sales sitting at $30 for your lowest sale average. So you're looking at low mid-grade for that price. Blows my mind. 400%, guys. But hey, look, I'm looking forward to this movie. I hope that Natalie Portman kills it. I know there's been a lot of controversy. Nobody really, liking her character from the MCU from the first couple of Thor films. But I'm absolutely excited for it. And I'm happy. I don't own this book, but I'm absolutely happy that this book has been gaining ground like it has. All right. Number 2 on the list is Invincible Iron Man number 9, the first full appearance of RIRI Williams. I knew that RIRI was going to be coming into the MCU at some point. It's inevitable, right? But I did not know that she would be introduced in a Disney Plus show as soon as they did. But I am so happy about it, and I cannot wait to see RIRI Williams on screen in live action. This book has been doing wonders, and just like Monica's first appearance, I guarantee you this book is a bit higher than where it is right now, and it's still number 2 on the list. But 2 months ago, let's look at the current CGC 9.0 fair market value, sitting at right at around $100. 5 years ago, $20. And again, freshly new book, change in value, another 400% increase. And like I said, I guarantee you that's more right now. Average raw sales, $60. So again, probably a decently higher grade for that $60. I bought mine for like $7. 3 years ago, maybe $7 or $8. Crazy, but look, well deserved. This is the future. Again, you talk about Miles. You have to talk about RIRI. You have to talk about Kamala. And then you throw Sam Alexander in there. Absolutely. So I'm so happy to see this book at number 2, not because I own it, just because of the character. And like I said, I can't wait for the Disney Plus show. All right, everyone. Like I said, it's been a journey. I've loved making these videos, these 10 videos, and reading everyone's comments and telling me which books that you all had, and just expressing how much you guys have enjoyed this series of videos. It's been a blast, and we are at the final book out of all of these 100 books, and I have to say, I'm excited. I wish we had some intense music right now to get that drum roll going, but I'm just gonna bring it up here. Coming in at number 1 of the top 100 comics to invest in for under $100 is Star Wars Legacy #1. That's right. Star Wars Legacy, #1. The first appearance of Darth KRAYT. It's not a Marvel book. It's not something because of the MCU. It is Star Wars. Talk about Star Wars mania. These Star Wars books have been going crazy. Crazy. So much that most of them couldn't even make this list because they are out of that reach of $100. Look at what this book has been doing. Current CGC 9.0 fair market value, right around $98. So you know what those high grades have been doing. They've been going absolutely crazy as well. 2016, a 9.0 CGC, $13. You couldn't even get the price that it cost you to go grade and slab the book. Change in value, 654%. That's not a typo. 654% increase in value over the last 5 years. Mind blown. Wow. Check this. Average raw sale, again, for your average low sales, $53. $53. So, being that it's a modern book, probably mid-grade, probably some mid-grade copies, and again, that's just an estimate. This book is soaring just like so many others, just like Heir to the Empire, #1, just like Clone Wars, #1, just like Star Wars, #2 from the Marvel books. Star Wars is happening, and this is what I love about this. Just a few years ago, the fandom was so divided, and I'm not saying there's always divide in everything in life, right? But there was such a divide out there, and rightfully so. I wasn't a huge fan. I had my issues with The Last Jedi, and I've said this before. They weren't issues that a lot of people had issues. I had my own issues just because I felt the story was out of place and it didn't fit, right? And Favreau comes along. Mandalorian drops, and for the last 2 years, the fandom has rejoiced, and it's absolutely showing in how we as collectors are reacting to these books and the demand that we are giving to these books. Again, well deserved. Well deserved. I am extremely ecstatic to see a Star Wars, a Dark Horse Star Wars book as #1 on this top 100 list. So, with that being said, that's all, folks. That is it. We made it to the end of the list. Again, let me know how many you all had. And of course, now that we've gone through all of them, let me know what books that you thought maybe should have made the list. But before I go, as always, I got to give a big shout out to all of my awesome Patreon members, to each and every patron. I appreciate the support that you bring to the channel every single month. Your support last month bought me a gimbal. For those that don't know what a gimbal is, it's a handheld stabilizer for your phone or your GoPro or your camera. So for me, when I'm out and about doing comic book store LCS tours and whatnot, my quality is going to be top notch, of course, for all of you, because I put every single penny of my Patreon earnings back into this channel. So if you want to help support the channel by being a patron, it's only $3.99 a month. That link is below. You get all kind of extra perks, exclusive content. And of course, I got to give a shout out to each and every one of you. Michelle, Jacob, Tyler, Keith, Jeremy, Sean, Michael, Comic Spunk, Jeff, Tricky Clicky, Philly Born, Alvin, Frankie's Aquatics, Fletch Comics, Joshua, Pedro, Peter, Jason, Joe, Larissa, Sagi, Dan, Jamie, Bishner, and Simon. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And again, thank you for the support month after month. Guys, it's been amazing. Thank you all for being here through this journey. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, leave your comments below. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. Big shout out to A1 Comics. Don't forget to check out all their awesome links below. Be well, and until next time.